I just like that a lot.
It's a customizability. What's
I
the
don't
word?
know why that word is so hard to say.
Customize, whatever.
Customizability.
Customizability, whatever. You get the
Customizability. Yep.
Honey, where are my
studs.
pants?
Hello and welcome to the Where Are My Studs podcast. Today I'm joined with Aidan, Adore Your Lego Studios,
Hello.
and I am Chatterblocks. Is that how? Wait, that's not how. What's our normal intro like? I forgot.
I think we make up something different every time. I think it's whatever you're feeling for that day, and I kind of just let you.
Okay, well, I guess we'll stick to what we did.
Okay. Well,
Where do we go from here?
I didn't think I'd get this far.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about retired versus new Lego, and
Yeah, but I feel like we typically
I
have
really
a better
wanna-
transition.
I think you should just keep this in as the transition. I think this works perfectly fine. It's real and authentic, you know. So, from that glorious transition, I guess I could start with talking about like what kind of made me want to talk about this. I mean, I kind of mentioned it in the last episode, like a little about like how my roommates like have kind of pushed me towards getting more into new Lego because that's just what they're into. But the big catalyst for this is 2 nights ago. I was like, it started snowing, and I was like, I want to build a Harry Potter Lego set and just watch a Harry Potter movie and drink some hot chocolate. So I literally just went to Walmart and bought the $15 like Harry Potter flying car, the little blue Ford flying car.
Mm-hmm.
And like it wasn't a practical purchase at all because I already had like Harry's house, which comes with that car that came out like 2018. But I was like, I just want to build a Lego set right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I built it, and I realized like for $15, that's like way better value than I've been getting. Like, because when I buy like retired sets, I'm spending like $100 on an Indiana Jones set that has like 300 pieces. So like the value just feels different when you're building it, and it's truly like a collector's item rather than just a building experience. And then also just like being able to go to a Walmart and just pick up a set is like and build it the same night of is like actually something that's like really fun to do. And I've actually kind of started to move towards like maybe buying modern Lego, even though like we say it's overpriced. It's actually hilarious. We complain about modern Lego being overpriced, and then we'll go spend ridiculous amounts of money on retired sets. Like not even just us, like the general Lego community is actually really funny. And I think that'll be kind of an interesting topic to go into more of like, where do you personally see value in buying a retired set versus a new set, and like what's going through your mind as you're making a purchase either way?
Dude, there's so much to unpack with this topic. This topic totally naturally came about between us, and like it's such a great topic because there's so much I just want to unpack with just like the process of buying a Lego set and the value of what like the value I deem into Lego sets, because since I'm such a collector of old Lego, the value has kind of just been like very different. So, you know, you're right, we complain about modern prices. Yeah, I spent freaking like $200 building that custom Temple of Doom set, if not more. And like I spend like $190 for a $90 pirate ship, or in like the Indiana Jones sets, Batman sets. You know, it's just I spend ludicrous amounts of money for sets that realistically shouldn't be that much, and it's something that has kind of been plaguing my mind more recently. And I think it started when I got the $55 Tantive hallway, because I was just like, oh wow, I own this, and I spent like a reasonable amount of money compared to the product. And it was really nice. And you know, you said something else is there's something just so nice about being able to go to the store, a normal retail store, buy the Lego set, have that experience, get home and just be able to build it, and you didn't lose hundreds of dollars doing it. Um,
I also, unless you have more to say
I do, but
right
go
now.
ahead.
Okay.
I got.
Um, I also have like noticed like being more of a collector's mindset is also like I can't just like show up to a Walmart and just buy a Lego set at full price. Like it is so hard for me to do. Like I'm just like if I'm gonna get a modern set, it's gonna be for like 50% of the price on Facebook Marketplace or like on eBay and a lot, or just like at a convention and somebody's trying to get rid of it, or it's on hecka clearance. Like I rarely just like show up and buy a set because I want it. Um, because I'm always trying to get like the best possible deal for a Lego set. And I think that kind of started with collecting older Lego because like, and I think you also do this differently than me because like you just buy the set you want and just are like, whatever, this is the price. But like, I really try to find good prices for older sets. Like, I probably piece together my Temple of Doom for under $200. Um, Whereas usually it's probably what, like 300
Mm-hmm.
used. Like, and that whole like mindset of like trying to get the most value for my dollar, which is like a good proposition to have, but it's like resulted in me like actually missing out on buying sets over the years that I've like wanted because I'm like, well, that's full price, so I can't buy it now. I need to wait for a sale. And I think that's a mindset I'm gonna try to get away from in the next like few years when collecting now. Like I'm not buying the Desert's gift set at full MSRP. I just can't bring myself to spend $80 on that. And like that's a different thing. But like if I want a set and like the Indiana Jones temple and like plane sets are a great example of this. Like if you buy those at their full price, like that's fine. And like yeah, you probably could have got a better deal if you waited a year, but I think just like getting what you want versus saving like a few extra dollars is like I don't know. I'm beginning to think that that's not as important as like actually getting the sets like that you want more rather than the sets that you're getting at a better value.
Yeah, I've never really had that issue too much. Like, especially with retired stuff, I'm willing to pay the price that I have to pay to get that set quick. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy with that. If there's an upcharge of $200, even $100, I won't do it. But like, I think that mentality got instilled with me with having Atlanta Brick Co. nearby, because it's the idea that I can drive to a store and have the set by the end of the night, and also there's a guaranteed good quality with it.
That's true.
um, I'm willing to pay that extra price to use store credit, get it in real life, have all these reassurances. Um, but I agree, like, there's just something so appealing of like the idea of being like, I really want to build a Lego set tonight. Let me drive over to Target or Walmart, go get to like actually. I think it's like reinstilling that like childlike feeling of going to the Lego or going to the store as a kid and looking at the Lego sets and actually getting one. It's
Well,
like
like
it's
as a
just like an
kid, you don't
experience.
yeah, you don't like collect a whole backlog in your closet and then like wait for the perfect time to build a set. Like you just get it and you immediately build it. Like that's something that my brother does.
Yeah, that's something a lot of adult fans of Lego started doing. I never had that issue. I rarely ever let any backlog. Like anytime I got a set, I was typically building it within the next 2 days. Like I I never really waited too much. Unless I have like a surplus of sets from like Christmas or something, then I'll build it over the next couple weeks. But I love the process of buying a Lego set. Like there's something just so pure about going to the store and purchasing a Lego set, and it's just like it reminds me of it as a kid. It's just like you would go to the store. Like I'm gonna use for an example, like I don't know, like the Battle of Hoth, that Echo base set from 2009. I
I
just have a
love that
distinct
set.
memory of huh.
I love that set. That's all
I
I was
love that
saying.
set. Great. It's one of my favorite sets of all time. Has my favorite box art ever of a Lego set, actually.
Really, I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, yeah. But I just remember getting that set at Walmart and just being in the store looking for it, realizing they have it, buying it, riding home, and just looking at the box. Like I could not take my eyes off that box. I was just looking at it, going, "Holy crap! I'm about to have like a bigger Lego set in my collection." and I'm gonna get to play with it and build it tonight. Like it's just such an amazing feeling. And it just when you buy retired sets online, it's just not even close to the same. Obviously, the product is great and all this, but like it's not the same awesome feeling you get from having to travel, go to a store, find it. Yeah, I don't know if you are like feeling the same way as me, but
I mean,
it's
there's
like the
nothing
experience.
magical about buying a set on eBay at all. Like there's just
No.
like there's it's like you feel so disconnected from it. Like it's like you're just scrolling through these images and then you bought one of the images because it was like at the best price. Like it doesn't feel very
Well,
tangible, and I
I'm gonna
think
say something crazy.
that's
I
why.
also feel the same way with the garage sale at Brick Fair. I don't feel like
Hmm.
there's any like there's a different feeling to it, but at the same time, it's still it's like almost a high stress environment.
Yeah.
And like, but like going to a retail store that has tons of the sets, like you don't worry about it. And there's been so many times where I'll buy a modern set, and it's just a fun feeling of just being able to just pick it up, casually walk to the front, not have to stress about anything, pay the price, get home, build a set. It's really nice. And now this isn't talking about the quality of modern Lego, but it's just something that you don't get if you buy old sets. Even if you buy them from like Bricks and Minifigs in Atlanta Brick Co. Like it's still you're paying a really high price for those sets, and it's just a different vibe, you know.
There's also something about like buying a set in a store. So I'm a perfectionist by trade. Like it's just like who I am. So when I'm at a store, it actually is, and I like don't have a goal of like I'm going in to buy this set. Like when I showed up at a Walmart the other night, I was like, I'm just gonna get a Harry Potter set, and even that wasn't narrow enough because I landed between like three, and I spent literally 15 minutes like just standing there, being like, all right, well if I got this one, then and basically the store was about to close, so I had to make a decision. So I was like, fine, I'll buy the cheapest set. Um, and I'm actually like really glad I did, and like it wasn't the most practical purchase or anything, but I do think for me it's a little different. Like it's still there's some stress to it if I like don't have a plan going because I want to pick the perfect option, and that's just because of who I am. But when I'm on eBay, it's like always going in with a specific goal in mind because like I'm not just gonna search Lego and then sort by newly listed and scroll and scroll and scroll. Like I'm narrowing it down to like, all right, I'm looking for these few sets right now because I need these for that. And I think that in itself is a very different experience. It's kind of like how uh, scrolling through Netflix versus back when you'd go to the store and buy a DVD and you commit to yourself to that. Like it's just two very different experiences of consumer like just mindset even.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, it's just like it's something that this whole entire thing isn't something that I've really thought about till more recently. Of just like I just I grow tired of paying insane amounts of money for sets that I've started feeling more and more like, it's cool, it's an old set, but also at the same time, Jesus Christ, I just paid $300 for the Republic Cruiser. You know.
That one for me is even actually a little different because I feel like there's a certain piece part at least that like once you pass that it feels a little more understandable. But like I'm trying to get all the Indiana Jones sets and is it Chowchilla Cemetery Battle? Is that how you pronounce
Mhm.
it?
Mhm.
That's like $80, and it's like it's the second smallest Indiana Jones set. I'm pretty sure, right?
No, it's the fourth.
Oh yeah, because of the Jungle
The th-
Duel. Yeah, I forgot
the
about
three
that.
small sets.
So, but I bought the old. So there's certain sets that I feel like completely fine about buying, and like I think the duration of the building experience in correlation to how much I paid for it is like kind of a big deal for me on how much value I feel like I got out of sets. So when I bought the old Tomb set for Indiana Jones, I spent like $40, and I built it in about the same time it took me to build the new one, and it was about the same price. So like in those circumstances, I feel like I'm getting my values worth.
Mhm.
But when you buy just like tiny sets, like my brother bought the 2006 Catwoman versus Batman set
Ooh, how
for like
much did you pay?
he paid 70, I think, which is like
Yeah.
pretty good for actually how much that set goes for. And I think he built it in like 7 minutes. And it's like, dang.
Yeah, like
Like,
I agree with you
yeah.
on that, but like cuz like there's it's also just paying, and I mean reckon this was a Christmas present, but I know how much she paid. I think it was like 240 for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull sealed.
That's pretty
I,
good. Like, I
I
would
feel
feel good
like that
about
was a
that.
fantastic value. I got the
Hmm.
box, I got the experience. And that set is a large set. And to me, I'd be like, well, how much is a $300 Lego set now? And it's like the Cantina. And I'd much rather any other day have the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull set. I like that way more.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. When it comes to like the smaller sets you go, the harder it gets. The Chula Cemetery Battle, I didn't have that because I did store credit for it, and I got it for like 130 sealed.
Jeez,
So
that's still like so much for that set. Like,
it is, but I understand your like what you mean with that. I'm
like
trying to
it's
look
just
on my
hard for
shelves.
me to look at because I want the Dune Ornithopter set right
Hmm.
now, and then like to look at that or like the Cemetery Battle, I'd be like, these are the same price. Like, if I like desperately wanted the Cemetery Battle as a kid, maybe like a different story. But I feel like there's like beginning to be fewer and fewer sets where I'm willing to pay the nostalgia tax on.
Hmm.
Um, and I think like finding older sets that people actually don't necessarily love and collecting those has been fun for me. Like a lot of the old Star Wars sets, like I'm talking like 1999, 2000, 2001, nobody wants those. Like the old Desert Skiff is like $20. And I'm like, that would actually be really cool to have and like have all of those and like collecting those. So I'm trying to collect every 1999 set now. And
Hmm.
that when I buy those, I actually feel like I'm getting my value worth, and it's also like introducing me to a different time period of Lego I was never part of, especially when I come with like the box or the manual and then like all the extra stuff. So I do feel like it's a case by case basis on when I feel like I'm getting value,
I
but
think
there's
it's a
like
case by
certain
case because
ones that's just so hard.
this is my issue, right? So I'm looking on Lego.com right now, and I look at the Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tail set. That set's $360. To me, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull set for 280, which reckon was a good deal, but like even 300, I feel like the value's almost the same. Even though you're getting so many more pieces with that with the Dungeons and Dragons set. It's just I don't know. I don't know.
But
This I think it is a
I
case by case
think
scenario.
I think once you pass a certain piece count or like space that a set takes up, it starts to feel valuable. Because like Crystal Skull, like it has a low piece count, but it has that raised base plate, which is like probably equivalent to what 300, 400 pieces. So
Mm-hmm.
it's essentially like a thousand piece to 15. How many pieces is actually in the Crystal Skull
800
set?
and something. It's like almost 900.
So that's essentially like a 1,300 to 1,500 piece set in modern day. And
Mm-hmm.
like, so paying anywhere from 200 to like 275 for that feels right. But I think it's just the smaller ones that just kill me. Like, there's some old Clone Wars sets that I want, and I'm like, I just can't put out the money that this costs, man. Like,
What's like
I just,
what type of sets are we talking about?
I'm scrolling through the brick set. The V19 turret I would like, but I don't know. I feel like spending like 130 on that isn't necessarily worth it. Like the Republic attack gunship from the Clone Wars and the ATTE Walker. Those are two
Yeah.
I feel like they're
Yes.
big enough where when I spend $200 to $300 on it, I would actually feel like I got my money's worth. Actually, a
Gunship,
lot of
yes.
the
ATTE, no.
okay, so I have this set, the Separatist Spider Droid, 7681, the one that comes with Commander Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Because that Commander Fox is like $140 figure. If you want that set, it's like 170.
It kills me.
There's
I really want
no
that set.
there's no way you can hold that set in your hand and tell yourself this is $170. Like that's the
Yeah.
set I think really embodies this. The old Ahsoka Starfighter versus the Vulture Droid, that's $150 set now. There's no
The Clone
way
Wars
like I
sets are
could.
really big offenders of this.
Hmm.
Really big offenders of this. I mean, Star Wars as a whole really is,
I blame
but
COVID for the Clone Wars ones because they did not
yeah.
used to be this expensive, man.
Um, it sucks because I'm wanting to get some of those old Clone Wars sets. The more and more, I got the gunship. I'd really like the ATTE. The Spider Droid would be one I would love to own again.
The AAT is only like $70. That's crazy.
But like but you know what's great? You know what's a great feeling though is
What?
getting an old set for a good value. So like I'm adventurer sets, ironically enough, really don't go up that much in value, if they're
Hmm.
opened. They're I mean they're not cheap, but they're reasonably priced. And so I've been able to get like some of the small adventurer sets all for reasonably good deals, and that's always a great feeling when you can get an old set for like a modern price, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's any flip it down on its head, like any modern sets that feel like they're priced like a retired Lego set?
Yeah, the Indiana Jones sets that just retired.
Well, no, those are really cheap. I mean, like a set that like it's out right now. You can go buy it on the store shelves, but it's like buying it, you'd feel like you're paying as if it was a retired set. Does that make sense? Like my
Um,
my example would be the $70 Sith Infiltrator. Like that does not feel like a modern day Lego $70 set. That feels like a set that came out like not because of how it's built or anything, but just based off price and like how big it is. Like spending $70 for that would only feel worth it if it was like a set I wanted as a kid.
oh, you're
Like
talking
it
about
does
bad
not feel like
value
it
sets,
holds.
basically.
Yeah, yeah, basically, essentially, yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I can give you a good amount. Like I like the X-Men Mansion is $330, and that set just feels so overpriced.
Hmm.
Any most Star Wars sets. I mean, the sail barge is $500, and I'm just like, I don't get it personally. The Zelda
I
set is 300.
That one's great. The sail barge is especially like I know Lee has very strong feelings about it
He
like having
he
its
does.
value. Yes, because me and Garrett said something about it in the Lego store, and then he like went on and like told us everything he loved about the set, and it actually is a really well designed set. But I would rather if I had $500 and like you have to spend this on a sail barge, I'd rather get the old one sealed. Like that's
Oh, I'd
just
rather
like,
have the 2006 one. I love that set.
hmm like I just personally like the value for that more. You're getting a, about the same number of important characters to that scene. And I don't think it's a set that like needs an insane interior. Um, like honestly, I'd rather have the skiff that's out right now than the sail barge any day of the week.
I'm not
Um,
a big fan of the UCS sale. Like, I think it's a good, well designed set, but just because it's well designed doesn't mean it's a good Lego set. I think more people need to hear that. I'm a big adamant. Just because it's well designed does not make it a good Lego set. Like, something can look really cool and have good building techniques. It can still suck, in my opinion,
well,
at
like
least.
the tuxedo cat.
I think that set's fine, but like, I mean, the
Really?
Batcave Shadow Box. That set's a really well
Yeah.
designed set, but it's a stupid set that's really expensive.
You never like see anybody post about having that like on their shelf. Like
Oh, it's because it
I
probably didn't
generally
sell
don't
well.
know who bought that. I think it's on sale for Black Friday actually. But another thing that I like, because as a kid, like I look back on a lot of the sets that I had, and they were like $10, 15, 20. Like I had the motorcycle chase from Indiana Jones and the Jungle Duel, and then some of the old Mars mission. And I was like
Hmm.
walking through Walmart, and I was like, "There's truly like one set per theme I could impulse buy." And for Star Wars, it's a battle pack. Like there's not actual sets. Like it's just a minifigure pack for $30, even though that is a very good battle pack. Um,
I agree. This is a really interesting topic, but I agree with you on all this. It's a lot harder to like. I want to impulse buy, but like I'm not impulsing buying anything over $40, and there's just barely. I mean, realistically, really anything over 30. And like the fact is, starfighters at this point are like $45.
yeah, isn't the Ahsoka 145?
Yeah,
That's insane. Like I just don't. I feel like it's a huge commitment to buy a Lego set now. Whereas like even as a kid, like I barely had any money, but it didn't feel like as huge of a commitment to buy like a $10 Lego set. Um, and
Well,
that's just like
you
not
know,
really a thing anymore.
the theme that will neglect all of our points with this is Minecraft. Minecraft is the only one that I feel like has some like super good prices, very affordable sets for someone that doesn't have a whole ton of money. Like I think me and you have commented on this, but I think Minecraft is like one of those themes that like is priced like it would have been when I was a kid.
I I very much agree with that, and I think Speed Champions is also a very well
Mm-hmm.
priced Steam. Which is funny because like they're also paying all these licenses to all these companies, and they go on sale a lot. Like actually, there's one that I want that's on sale for like $13 right now.
There's so many good
Um,
sets for Minecraft that are under $40. Like so many. So many and it's wonderful. I love to see it.
like I've experienced this in bringing friends along to Lego store or even Walmart or Target, and we're all like, "Oh, let's all buy a Lego set and build it together." And like they're just like they're not as dedicated as me, obviously, so they're not willing to spend like over $40, and that immediately eliminates like 70% of the sets that we're looking at. Like one of my friends, he wanted to get a Harry Potter set, and Harry Potter is actually a pretty
I
affordable
was also
theme
going to
too.
mention that, yeah.
Um, and that's actually something I actually really like the Harry Potter theme right now. I've actually been looking at it. I actually really like what they're doing with it. I think it's very collector friendly, unlike some other bigger themes. Um, but it and even that there was like five sets under $40, and then there was one that was $50. We had to figure out how to price match it so he could get it for 40. And then he built it and he
What
really
set
liked
was
it.
it?
But I, it was the Hogwarts Room of Requirement. It's the one with like the flame snake dragon thing coming out of it. I think it's from one of the Deathly Hollow movies. But I actually like didn't even like I never paid attention to that set at all. And then he built it. I was like, this is actually a pretty cool set. But I've experienced this whole thing a lot in college whenever I go with friends to buy sets because their budget is like $20. And do you know what people buy? It's the uh, creator expert stuff. It's the not even creator expert, just the normal creator sets. It's Minecraft and it's Speed Champions. Those are like the three that people buy, and it's actually nobody ever buys Star Wars unless they're like a dedicated
Well,
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
fan.
is like the biggest
Because
offender of overpricing their sets by a long shot.
oh yeah, like their cheap sets is the Tan of Four hallway, which is $55. And if you look at a $55 Harry Potter set versus that, you can't tell me it's giving you
No,
the
no, no.
same value or like the
This
same
is
amount of
why
space.
I literally I mean on top of the product of Star Wars being probably the worst it's ever been in a long time and so dry and so hateful. Like just the products they're pushing. And like I don't even think there's like when the sequels were out, I think there was like good sets. But like it feels like ever since the Rise of Skywalker and especially post pandemic, like and the I think I just feel like it's just gotten worse and worse and worse and it's just like so hard to find any like good sets that are like Jedi Bob Starfighter is $40. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Like
That's way too
like
much.
you brought up the Hoth set from 2009. Like sets like that just don't exist for Star Wars anymore. Like there's no cheap like $30 set for Star Wars that's not a starfighter or a
There's
battle
like
pack.
here
And even
there's the
starfighters are pricing themselves out of
there's
that
the
range.
Bark Speeder which is 30 and that's fine but for $30 it's like a battle pack build. And like and that's the thing is I'm not saying all of modern Lego is like this because they don't have to be. It's just Star Wars for a large portion of it. And it sucks
Mm-hmm.
because it's a theme I loved so much as a kid that they just like the fact that a battle pack is just $20 now is just it's just silly cuz they're overpricing them. They should be closer to 15.
I think Star Wars is an adult's theme so much that when they make kid sets, they don't know how to price them for kids. And I wish they would just put it on to like the diorama, and they might be doing this, and I don't even know. But like, put it onto the diorama, put it onto the 18 plus set, make the adults pay a little more, and don't make us have $70 Sith infiltrators. Like this is a set that would actually be kind of fun to get. Like I don't think it's the best design, but I like the minifigs. I like episode 1 way more than most people. But I can't bring myself to spend $70 on that. Same with the Desert Skiff at 80. Like people say people complain about prices, and I know inflation's a thing and all that stuff. But if you walk down the Lego aisle, the Star Wars one has a lot more black boxes and a lot higher prices.
Yeah, I mean it's not just a Star Wars problem. Like unfortunately, like the new Batmobile from the animated series is $60 for 435 pieces. And this is just a Batmobile. There's nothing else included. It is just a Batmobile and it is $60.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good Batmobile, but it just sucks. And this isn't Old Man Yells at Sky. Like this isn't sour grapes. This is just the truth that like Lego overprices certain themes way worse than others. And it's so nice and wonderful to see like a theme like Minecraft, which is obviously dedicated towards kids, have these really well priced sets that are adjusted for inflation. Great options. Like there's a set called Baby Pig's Birthday Celebration. This set has a good amount of pieces. It's $20. The Fox
I was gonna
Lodge
say
is $20.
that Marvel is actually getting better at this, but I'm scrolling through and they are not. The X-Men jet. How is this an $85 set? Like, on what universe? Now, Marvel does still have like actually decent $15 to $30 sets. Like that one Thor Ragnarok set is actually pretty good. Is it? How much is it though? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is it 30? Like I would feel awful paying 30 for that. And then the Avengers versus the Leviathan 50, that doesn't feel awful.
I feel like
some of these are awful.
I feel like the Animal Crossing theme has some pretty decent prices. I don't think they're perfect, but I think they're reasonable.
I hate what Lego's done with all the Nintendo properties. Like,
oh really?
It's just so garbage. Like, it makes them look like they're a Duplo set that got turned into a actual Lego set.
I like the Animal Crossing
Like,
sets. The only thing I don't like is I don't like that they just won't put them on big plates that are square. Like they have to make them
that's my thing. It's the stupid little rounded plate piece that Mario uses, and then how has it been like 4 years of Lego Mario and we still don't have minifigures? Like it has to be some legal thing at this point, because like I would actually buy a Mario set is like the point I've gotten to and how much I'm liking it. With like roommates that are more into it and stuff. But I'm like, this isn't even a Lego set. I'm buying a freaking character with a screen in it. Like what is this? What are we doing? I don't get what they're doing. Like I get what they're trying to do, but I don't get why they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, like I guess
Mario's decently priced though.
All this is to say though that like we're literally doing what we said in the beginning, where we're like, wow, Lego right now is a lot of it is so overpriced. Yet we'll go spend, especially me, I'll go spend $300 on a set with like less than 1,000 pieces.
That's true, and I think I've just seen this more with trying to get people into the hobby, and like the price is always the biggest barrier. Like there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, like Lego's cool and all, but man, is it expensive? And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like I think if you didn't have Lego sets as a kid and you're our age, it would be very hard to go out and like see the value in buying them and building them. Not saying it can't happen, but I think like having that experience before you're having to make actual financial decisions in your life and then choose to buy a Lego set, I think you almost need that, or else like I don't know, the average Joe's not going to go out and just spend $50 on a Batmobile or 60 or whatever you said.
Well, like, so this is the interesting thing. This is something people don't acknowledge enough. Lego has always been an extremely expensive toy. When I first got into Lego at like 6, 7 years old, the thing I always heard from the people buying it for me was going, wow, Lego is crazy expensive. This is a super expensive toy. And like, not that I didn't get it, but they would always say that. And I kind of became numb to it as I grow older, because I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, $60 for a set of this size. Where sometimes I forget $60 is a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it's something I've become numb to, and I think most Lego fans do, is you just get used to, it's like, yeah, Lego's expensive, but it's always been this way. It's not as bad as it is now, not even close. But as a kid, it was still like a really expensive toy. Like, you compare what $60 would have gotten you in 2009, like you could have gotten the Republic Attack shuttle for probably about $60 compared to another toy you could have gotten $60. Like, it was crazy.
I think unless, and also this is two broke dudes in their 20s talking about this, in their early 20s talking about this. So I don't have the um like understand what it's like to be like somebody who actually has like a full-time job and like goes out and can spend money on Lego sets. But I feel like you have to be very selective with what you buy as far as Lego sets go, because like there's a lot that I want, but with how expensive it is, I can't like just go out and like get all of them. And like buying stuff day one like is a very rare thing for me. And I think that's
Mm.
why I always try to get stuff on clearances, because like I want all of this stuff, and in order to get most of it, I need to try to find it on clearance and stuff and find good deals. And I feel like that's, it can be fun to an extent, to like part of the fun is trying to find the good deals, and it's the whole hunt of it. But just like showing up at a store and buying something at full price, like you have to be really committed to that set if it's more than like $30. I feel like at this point, with how much Lego is getting to be.
I'm like, I don't hunt for deals almost ever. If I want something and I feel like I have the money to buy it at a reasonable price, I go buy it. I don't typically hold out on stuff. Um, I don't know
What's a modern set you want right now?
the Jaw set.
Why haven't you bought it yet?
I'm asking for it for Christmas, or else I would have.
Okay, that's fair. Is there another modern set you want?
There's one I would like to have if given to me completely free. That's
There's
a
seriously
crazy
not a
statement.
single other modern set. That's insane. There's one set.
I mean, the Avengers Tower's kind of cool, but I would never pay for it. Like, that's
Okay, well
just.
that's like $500. Okay, I'm talking like you walk into like a Walmart and you're gonna see this on the shelf.
I wouldn't mind having the planet set with the sun.
Really
Yeah, but I just.
interesting.
It's
I
like
would not have
70.
expected that one.
Well, I'm a big space guy, and I really like the solar system and stuff. And like,
Mhm.
but I don't want to pay $70 for that. Like, $70 is a lot of money.
So if you walked into Walmart tomorrow and you saw that it was on sale for 60, would you buy it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It would
'Cause
have to be on sale for like
I've
30.
seen. Okay, so heck, it discounted. There's a weird consumer behavior with Lego fans of like, there's a set that they want more than the other, but if it's on sale, they're gonna go and buy the set that's on sale.
Yeah, that's not me.
Interesting, because that's just something that I've noticed as a pattern myself. So I was seeing if that's something that you've done
Well,
too.
like the thing is though, it's hard to compare just because of how much I don't want modern Lego sets. Like, to the point where they get offered to me and I deny them. I'm just like,
Really?
no. I'm saying, like, so this whole entire Tantive hallway thing, right? My father came up to me and was like, "Hey, listen, I have a bunch of like Disney cash or whatever, and I just need to spend it because I'm never gonna spend it. Do you want any Lego sets?" And I was just like, I was like, what do they have? And I looked, and there was like next to nothing. And I was like, I guess I'll take the Tantive hallway if you just really want to get rid of some of this. And he's like, sure. And he gave me it, and like, I'm cool with that. But I just, it just doesn't do it anything for me. Like, the only sets I really want are like, I really like the Lion Knights castle. That's a crazy cool set. I love that set. Um, I would be interested in getting the El Dorado fort as well.
See, like that's the problem nowadays. Like all the sets we want are like $200 or more.
Yeah, there's very almost never any sets that are average priced. However, that could all change if they just made a theme I actually care about. cough cough, they did make one, and guess what? I went out and bought it day one.
That's true. Did you
I
buy
hun-
all of them day one?
I bought technically I got the fighter plane 2 weeks early, so yes, I bought them all day one.
That's crazy. I forgot about that.
But
Oh
I
yeah, because
but
I went over to your house and you had them. I forgot about that.
yeah, it's just it's not a modern Lego issue. It's a I don't care about the current properties they're making issue.
Is
Like
it hard for you to justify it based off the shelf space it has to take up? Because that's like something for me. Then I'm like, buying Legos getting harder because I know I don't have space for it, and I'm like,
no, if I want it, I want it and I'll make room for it.
okay. Oh yeah, I forgot how cluttered your shelf was when
Hold on.
I came
Okay, I'm
by.
going to take this back. It will slightly. Another reason why I don't buy modern Lego sets as much is I'm like, even if there was one that I kind of cared about, do I really want to sacrifice that shelf space? Not really, not for that set. So that's, you know what, I do consider it. But like with an older set, no, if I want it, I want it and I'm going to buy it and I'll figure it out. Luckily I have more room for shelves right now and I'm going to buy two soon. But what I was saying though is this isn't a modern. I don't dislike modern Lego sets for being current and being using new techniques and new figures. It's just also a lack of I don't care about the themes they make, like almost at all. I don't care about modern Star Wars at all. If I want a Star Wars set, I can just get it from the years 1999 to 2009 typically. Um the Batman stuff, it's kind of the same thing. I already have a Batman theme that I'll probably like more than any current Batman set they're going to make. However, if Lego finally, made like a new adventurers theme, that could get me. That could get me to buy it. When Harry Potter came back, I bought it and I really like those sets.
I think you having Atlanta, the Atlanta Brick Co store like so close by, totally changes like the perception for you because like I can't just like show up and buy a retired Lego set unless I go to Bricks and Minifigs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, buying a set of Bricks and Minifigs is so hard to do because you're just paying too much.
Yeah,
Like
I mean
you
Atlanta,
just know it.
you pay extra, but it's at least Atlanta has the quality behind it.
Well, and at least they have it taken apart. Like I genuinely don't get how people buy used sets at Bricks and Minifigs and then just come home and plop it on their desk and that's it. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah, I would never, ever, ever buy a set that is built, almost ever. Like that's the nice thing about it. If you don't know how Atlanta Brick Co works, is you have your sealed old sets, but they do something called certified pre-owned, something that Whoppy Bricks also does, which is they will dismantle the set, clean it, make sure all the parts, stickers, and all of it are of really good quality, sort it into color, put it into plastic bags, seal it up in a nice plastic box, and they'll charge a little bit more than what a typical used set would be, but the exchange is you're getting this set almost as if it was new. And I love it. And those are the sets that'll get me to go to Atlanta and buy them. Because you're paying in between new and used, but you're getting a really good quality experience.
How important is the building experience of a set to you?
It's more important than it used to be. As a kid, I couldn't care. I just wanted the end result to play with, to add to my battle or whatever. But I mean, like it's not the end of the world, but I definitely like a good set to build. Like the Daily Bugle is one of my favorite sets I've ever built. That and the castle, the Lion Knight's castle, both of those sets were fantastic building experiences. Some of the best I've ever had. I feel like building the indie sets, not the new ones, but the older ones, like I've had some good ones, but most of the time the indie sets I'm more just looking forward to the end result. Whereas like, with Lion Knights and the Daily Bugle, first of all, those sets are so massive that there's so much to build. But I just really gotta enjoy the experience of really building up this monster of a set. How about you?
I'm beginning to realize it's very important to me. And there's certain sets that I also think it kind of goes back to the value thing a little. Another example of something that I built recently was the Tron Legacy set. I traded in a set I totally overpaid for it, but I just wanted it and I wanted to get rid of an Age of Ultron set. It was the Age of Ultron Quinjet set, which is totally valued at like 130 now or something. But I traded it in at a convention because I was like, I just need to get rid of this so I can have space. And I was like, well, I want the Tron Legacy set, so let's do that. And I built it, and it was not an insane building experience. And I think like knowing how much I spent for it like wasn't great. Versus I bought the Up House a year ago at Chicago. I guess it's a year and a half ago now. Paid $47 for that, and like that was a fantastic building experience. So I think building experience helps me justify money, and like that's kind of how I feel about it. And I think I actually, and I love the building experience of the Dagobah diorama that I built a month or two ago. Like that was such a fun building experience, and I think it just makes me like the set more. Um, and like there's, I think a bad building experience for a set can really sour it for me actually. Because it just like wasn't as fun to build. Like all of the Indiana Jones sets, I've had fun building so far. Like out of all of the old ones I've got,
Hmm.
the Temple of Doom was a little boring in all honesty. But having it completed was when I was like, oh okay. And I think I'm beginning to realize I do value um the more modern building experience versus I don't like the older building experience as much. Which I don't know what your take is on that.
Yeah, I don't really know if I have much of an opinion on that. Like, I mean, you know, I, I guess I agree with you in one sense, but also in another sense, I kind of am indifferent to either or. Uh, I agree that it is more engaging and there's more effort behind it than older sets, but I can enjoy like an older set build. I think the issue with older sets is I'm way more adamant about getting the finished product because that's what I bought the set for. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
getting like a newer set like Lion Knights or the Bugle, I kind of got just kind of for fun just because the opportunity presented itself. Like with Lion Knights, I was able to get it half off, and the Bugle, I just traded in stuff. So building those was a lot more just like I'm just gonna enjoy it, and there aren't Technic heavy sets either, which is something I enjoy. So like ironically, like the Tantive was kind of like that. I enjoyed building the Tantive hallway because I didn't care as much. Does that make sense? Like with sets I don't
Mm-hmm.
care as much about, I'll enjoy the experience more
Yeah,
typically.
because you don't want to just get to the end product as fast.
Yeah, well,
And
it's
like,
not a race. Like I still build it like,
well, yeah,
with time, but like yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to have the end product, look at it, play with it, mess around with it. Um Whereas with the modern sets, they're not as coveted. It's just it's a set that I got from the store.
I also think the building experience of a set can really tell you a lot about where Lego was at in that era. Like when I built the 1999 sets, it was a very different method of doing a lot of things and the type of pieces they use. And I think it's just part of the time capsule part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't like even saying anything about it's good or bad, but just I think that's actually one of the cool things about Lego as like a more retro toy is like you buy an old GI Joe or Transformer and you just put it on a shelf versus you actually physically engage with the thing and like bring it into its full existence and you go by in the methods that they were doing at that time and like you're not thinking all of this, of course, this is all like subconscious, but it really like shows a lot about like what place Lego was at and actually can tell you a lot about like why they made certain sets and like why they didn't. Like you build anything pre 2002. R Slugger did a whole video on this, but they released a curved slope in 2002 and everything became way more smoothed off all of a sudden. Versus when you build older Lego Star Wars sets, they feel much more like crude and stuff, but there's a charm to that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another thing about the building experience that I've thought about this, and I'm wondering if this is a unique part for me or if other people actually like this. But I really like placing stickers, and I like sets that have stickers,
Yeah, you're unique.
which
You're a
which
freak.
may be an insane take.
That's
Um,
crazy.
mm-hmm.
I hate
I
it.
I think it's a very skill based part of building a Lego set. I think it's the one thing about building a Lego set that's skill based, so it feels like a challenge. And I mean, like, I'm a perfectionist. I mentioned it earlier. So like trying to get it perfect is actually like a lot of fun, and it's actually a very like um engaging experience for me. So I actually like I there's certain pieces that I think just look bad stickered still, but I don't mind the actual experience of placing stickers. And I actually sometimes even prefer and maybe even like it.
Yeah, I don't. Like, if I could make everything printed, I probably would choose that. Like, I mean, stickers are fun, I guess, occasionally because they're like satisfying. But like, I, especially with a set I really want to look good, it's just anxiety and annoyance when it doesn't go on right or whatever, whatever, whatever.
How do you put stickers on? What's your method? Because I know everybody's a
It
different one.
used to be just wing it, but more recently I've started using a brick separator, and it's helped a lot.
Do you like line up like how do you like line it up? Because everybody does this a different way.
I kind of just look at the edge and just try to get as close to the middle as possible that I deem like would be the same length on each side of like the tile
Does
or
it
the
bother
or the
you if it's
brick.
not like perfectly centered?
No, if it's really bad, it'll annoy me. But like, no, honestly, I think it adds a charm, especially if this is a big thing with me in sealed sets. Is I like being the one to place stickers. I hate when someone else had placed a sticker. It feels gross to me.
That's fair.
I don't know why. It's just like ugh. That's why I got the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull set. I had to get it sealed. Is that's such a sticker heavy set, and I refused to get that set from someone else, and I'm very happy I got it sealed. Um, because like if I mess it up, it's my set. Like it's mine. I don't know. Like if it messes up on a big set, then it is annoying. Like I'm trying to think.
Like if you would have messed up the diorama quote on the Indiana
Yeah,
Jones
that would have
set.
been annoying. But
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
when like my Ark of the Covenant set, the Well of Souls, the new one. There's a few stickers on there that aren't perfect, but like I don't know. It's a toy. It's not supposed to be perfect all the time. Now there's levels to this, but if it's like slightly crooked, it I don't know. It adds a bit of charm. I'm like, yeah, I put that sticker on. This is my set. Like it's unique. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't really mind it like stickers as long as dirty stickers can make a set look horrible though. Like
Yeah.
like when you're buying an old set. So I think stickers for older sets I absolutely hate, especially when I'm buying them used and like there's times when like I will like pay $5 more on eBay to like get a set that has stickers placed well. But on modern sets, like I actually now I don't want to be doing it like every single step. I'm not like that insane. Like Speed Champions is still even a bit much for me.
Hmm.
But after placing like like 200, 300, 400 bricks and then getting a break and doing a sticker, I think it breaks up the building process in a way that I really like.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with you on that.
And I don't mind it making sets cheaper too.
I had to put
Because
this.
like,
I had to put the stickers on the Republic gunship because it has alternate stickers. Atlanta Brick
oh,
Co.
that's
just
got to be
gave me.
terrifying.
Well, I had alternate stickers, so if the ones that messed up, I could have just put on the other ones.
That's funny. Wait, do you
Um,
still have more stickers?
yeah, I have the extra set. They're still in the box.
Do you want to maybe No, I'm just kidding.
What would you use them for?
Well, I'm gonna get that set eventually, and then I kind of want to get a second one. Okay, so that's a set that I really like. The stickers, like that's a set that I think is the perfect use of stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another example would be the Quinjet that came out like 2 years ago. You can put on the Avengers logo or the Shield logo. And that's a set I actually like want to get, and I want to put the Shield stickers on. But I think giving a certain amount of customizability to the user is also like a cool part of stickers, and I also like that because you could get and going back to the gunship example, like you could get that set twice and put on different stickers, and it would still feel like two separate things. Or like I just like that
A
like a
customize.
lot.
It's a
Uh,
customizability. Customize. what's
I
the
don't
word?
know why that word is so hard to say.
Customize, whatever.
Customizability.
Customizability, whatever.
Customizability.
You get the
Yep.
point. But like, I agree. Like, I especially love that as a kid too, because it would be like, I don't know. It made it feel more like creative. You're just like, whoa, this is a big decision. Um, I got
I
a
have
really
a
random
few
question for you.
stickers. Wait, hold up. I have a few stickers messed up on my Temple Escape set though, like the old one from 2008,
The
and those
2008 one
bother
doesn't
me
have stickers.
so. Yeah, it does.
Where?
On the ramp.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like a little like pulled up and like frayed at like one end,
Okay,
and
hold
it
hold
drives
on.
me. It's insane.
I don't mind a crooked sticker to an extent. If it's like any like pulled up or anything, I just take it off and I'm gonna buy a new sticker sheet. That's what's happening with my Krusty Krab set.
How much is the new sticker sheet? I'm gonna look that up as
I'm
you,
getting a
as you say
replacement.
what you were gonna
I'm just
say.
gonna get a fake replacement. But I got a random question for you. This is completely out of the blue. What do you think of the new Lego Star Destroyer?
That does not have a single sticker on it. How did you get that from this? Does it have a sticker on it?
What are you talking about?
The new Star Destroyer.
No,
The
I
$160
was
one?
looking at it earlier and I think it's an interesting case of like modern Lego. It's smaller, it's more highly detailed. Like I don't know.
I think if I held that in my hand, I would feel like I had $160 of value in it. Honestly. Like I think it's actually decently valued. Like if you look at it. Like, do you think it's worth two desert skiffs?
I I
Heck,
I think
two
it's
Sif infiltrators and $20. Like
yeah, but
that's what this is.
that's comparing it to other Lego Star Wars sets. I think the set
So,
probably should be 140, but I also just don't like the set.
hmm
I don't like how it looks. I don't like the set.
so I actually, what do you not? How does it look bad? Like I get that
I
it's
just
smaller, but how does it
don't.
look bad?
I don't know. Like everyone really likes the like cleanness of it and everything, and I don't know. It's just I don't enjoy how it looks. It looks too good almost. Like
I've just never got the hype for Star Destroyers in general. Um, like I did not care about the 2014 one when it was out. I think if I had to pick one, I'd actually like the 2006 one the best, but I don't know if that's just nostalgia talking. So I think because I just don't care about Star Destroyers that much, it's not one I have a big opinion on because I just don't think, even if they made a fantastically designed, well priced Star Destroyer, I just don't think I'd ever buy it. Um, the thing that's actually the most appealing to me about this set is that Cal Kestis minifigure,
yeah,
and I want to get that minifigure at some point. Um, but it's like the minifigure lineup for it kind of sucks outside of that. In all honesty,
Oh,
and
Aiden,
that's what
I found an answer to your question of a set I would buy.
what
I really like the Droideka set. I
really.
I love the CIS. I love the CIS. The Battle Droid, Super Battle Droid, and Droidekas. It comes from playing Battlefront 2 as a kid. I love the CIS. I love the Droid Army, and I really like that Droideka a lot.
What's interesting is that's actually a very well priced set. I think.
I think
Um,
so, and
and it's on sale for $50.
I'm actually asking for it for Christmas. I was trying to think of Christmas
Okay.
presents for some people to get me because they were asking, "Is there anything I wanted?" And I was like, "You know what? The Droideka set would be a lovely present." But we were talking about this earlier with like the buying, the like what stops me from going out and buying it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
I mean, and that's one that I think you could even almost like with the point Lego's getting to. That could be to just show up at Walmart, buy it, and then build
Yeah,
it.
like it. I've had impulse buys. Like I can name multiple sets I've had impulse buys throughout history. Like the both of the Republic Cruisers, the 2016 one and the 2023 one.
Republic Cruiser.
No, attack tank. Republic Tank.
Oh, okay. That was 2022, I think. Yeah, because I was working at Jimmy John's when that got
Yeah,
leaked. Yeah,
both of
2022.
those were impulse buys, but like they were only $40. It was $40 and like $25.
Um, I want to circle back to the Star Destroyer
Yeah,
because
sorry
I
about
scrolled through.
that
No,
rant.
no, no. You're fine. That's actually that's a good set. Like that's a set. I actually know a friend at my school who really wants that one too.
Which one?
But I think the like which friend or which set?
Which set? Which set are you talking about?
Oh, the Droideka set.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of Star Destroyers throughout the years, and I think it's just a ship that fits the old Lego design more than the new one. I think it's a set that looks better when it has more exposed studs and it's a little more jagged and jarring than a super clean, smoothed off look just because of the nature of the ship. So I think that's part of the reason I don't really care about the new one and I like the older ones more. Because even once we get to 2014, it's a little more smoothed off. It's not anywhere near as much, and I think it starts to like lose a little bit of its character. Um, and I think it just looks better in the older Lego style.
Yeah, I mean, I love the 2006 look. I know a lot of people think it's ugly, and that's fair, but I love that you can put a figure inside the actual bridge of the set, which makes no sense, but I love it. And
Hmm.
I know that set's apparently the reason. So Jay actually had that set as a kid, Rich Boy Jay. He hates that set. And the reason
Really?
was, and I've heard this from every single person that's owned it, it's apparently an extremely fragile set.
Yes,
Extremely fragile.
I've heard that
In
as
fact,
well.
it's so fragile that the very next year, when they made another big capital type ship, they gave it a handle, which is the Republic Cruiser.
Yeah, I could see that like being a big complaint about that. I get that, but I don't. I just like the 2006 aesthetic a lot. Like my favorite Slave One is probably the 2006 one, honestly, and my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
X-wing is the 2006 one.
Lego Star Wars 2000 or 2006 for Lego in general is probably my favorite year of Lego ever. 2008 is a or two, 2006 through 9 are like I love it. It's perfect to me. The sets that
I
came
think
out in that time.
2006 and 2007 have a very identifiable building style, specifically in those years, and I see it in Star Wars a lot. I haven't looked into more themes more, but I think you see a shift in building style around 2008, particularly with the Clone Wars set. Like if you look at the 2007 ATST next to a Clone Wars set, like you can tell there's a big difference in how they started to build sets, and I really wonder why that would be. Because like you also see a shift, like the 2005 Revenge of the Sith sets definitely don't look like they super fit in with the 2006 and 2007 sets. So I wonder what it is about those 2 years that makes it so unique and jump out.
I don't know, but I love 2006 to 2000. I agree with you that 2008 there definitely was a shift. Like I disagree. I think 2005 sets do fit in with 2006 7, but the difference between 2007 and 2008 is significant in my opinion.
Although the two sets that do fit in from 2008 are the Imperial dropship and the Rebel Scout Speeder, which were January 1st sets, and then the same with the AT-AP. So all of the January 1st sets fit in, but then once the summer wave comes with the Clone Wars, it's an entirely different change. So I wonder if there's like a change in like management designers, like who knows, but there's a total shift between those two waves. And I wonder if we've seen that recently at all because I feel like every Lego set has kind of looked similar and can fit in with ones from the past few years.
Yeah, I was going to say I feel like after 2015 basically Lego has become basically like the same. Like I feel like you had like some big shifts. Like a really big shift is from like 99 through 2003, and the jump from that to the 2004, 5, 6, 7 sets. And there was a giant jump in different building styles, and I know it's probably because of the slopes. I think you also had that jump in 2009, 2010, and then you had another jump in like 2012.
I think, like, when do you think the smaller piece craze started? Because that's kind of like what I'd identify.
2015.
Really, I don't know, cause like I have all of the Rogue One sets are not like that. In all honesty, like those, I'd almost group 2015 and 2016 together. I feel like the Force Awakens sets go well with the Rogue One sets really well, and like we're just talking about Star Wars because that's the most identifiable. Um, but I also think the change in box art might also be what's making me think that. Because when did they go to not actually shooting real pictures for the box art anymore? When did they go to it being
I'm
renders?
20. It was I think it was after Last Jedi. Maybe like 2019, 2020. Definitely by the 501st set.
Yeah, I'd say the 501st set fits in with modern. Honestly, the solo sets don't entirely fit in with modern. I feel like I don't think the Last Jedi do. Honestly, like I don't see a ton of hyper detailed. Like there's a lot more exposed studs on these than you'd see nowadays. Um,
I think 2020 there was a shift then.
yeah, I think 2020 is like when the modern look of Lego.
No, I
Yeah,
don't. I
I
disagree.
agree with that.
I think 2019. I think 2019 is actually really when you see it.
I guess so because that's when the Millennium Falcon, where they finally covered like every single
Yeah,
gap in it, came
exactly. Like
out.
the Rise of Skywalker sets feel very modern Lego. Last Jedi does. Last Jedi feels right. Like it still feels the same as that Force Awakens, which I really like those sets a lot. I really like that like 2015, 16, 17, 18 sets. I think there was a lot of good sets in those years.
I actually think in 2019 it's the same exact thing as in 2008, where the first wave of the year totally fits in with older, the 2018 style, and then once you get to the 20th anniversary sets, those are very modern looking sets. Like that's exactly what I'd expect a Boba Fett Slave One to look like if it came out today. Like I honestly don't know much what they'd change. Same with the new Tantive 4. Yeah, it's 100% 2019. That's
2019.
interesting.
I'm looking right now. So you're saying the beginning sets of the year have the like older aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
that's like all of their um
I don't know if I'd agree
I
with
don't
that. I think all of
really.
these. I think yeah. I don't think there's any 2019 sets that I would be like that. The Tantive 4 kind of looks like that late 2010s.
I don't know. I feel like that actually looks very modern with how like smoothed off it is and stuff. Um,
But the Rise of Skywalker. Oh, Vader's Castle is a set that does not look like a modern. I love Vader's Castle. Let me point out. It's one of my. It's probably my most favorite modern Lego Star Wars set. Vader's
I wonder what
Castle.
the next shift is gonna be because I don't know what else they could do to really enhance these sets more. Like, do you
Forward.
think we've reached the pinnacle of Lego set design? And like, of course, there's gonna be new techniques, new pieces like every single day. But I
Um,
feel like they've really established an uh a what's the word, a
aesthetic.
aesthetic, yes, that like is very theirs, and I feel like it's a very rounded and smoothed off now, which is actually funny because like it's known for the Lego stud. um but I feel like
I
it's a
think we could
very
see a jump back. I could see them eventually
really.
toning down their level. I think this is just me speaking into the sky with no actual ammunition behind anything I say, but like I wouldn't be shocked if eventually Lego has to kind of tone back the adult level of stuff they're doing because they have to get kids back into it. And this could be 20 years from now, who knows, but the point is I think eventually Lego is going to focus back on it being a children's toy, and they're going to tone back the level of detail and stuff, and we're going to probably hit more like a 2015 to like 2018 style again. This is
Here's
completely
the thing,
me theorizing, though. I could be completely
I
wrong.
don't actually know if that will happen because the thing is there's so many more Lego sets available than there ever has been. So like we look at it and we just notice the bigger ones, the more adult ones, because those are the ones that we're interacting more with, like the Jaws set. And when I built the um the flying car from Harry Potter like 2 nights ago, $15. Like that's a very buy that for a kid at Christmas set. The techniques weren't anything crazy. There's not a lot of small pieces. Like it's a very straightforward build. Like it's not as straightforward as a 2007 set's gonna be, but I think it's I don't actually think they're gonna have to go back on it because I think there is still a lot of stuff accessible for kids, and I think it almost as they move up in age, they move up in the sets that they're getting, and the sets I think like obviously like parents actually pay way more attention to the ages they put on the box than you'd think.
No, I've
I remember
noticed it working retail.
I remember working at a bricks and minifigs, and this one lady was like totally just like talking about how her son. She's like, yeah, the set said 14 plus, but he's 10 and he built it, and I'm like, okay, that's honestly nothing crazy. Like I'm sorry, but that's not that crazy. But it's something that parents like actually take a lot of pride in and are proud of that don't like know a ton about Lego. Um, but it's totally like a thing that they pay attention to, and I think especially like grandparents and stuff like if a set says 10 plus and their grandchild's 7, they're not going to get it for them. So I think because of all of the parameters the Legos put around that, I think they've actually set themselves up for success in that way. I don't think kids are going to be overly challenged because of the sets they are actually getting.
Yes, I would agree with that for the most part. I'm looking at the 2007 sets now, and I'm just sad. I'm not sad. I'm just like, man, I want these.
I don't know. Do you think it's like an objectively better style, or do you think it's just the nostalgia goggles that are on?
I think Lego hit its best style in 2015 to 2018. I think that is the objectively probably the best style of Lego. I guess you can't talk objectively, but like, and this is coming from a guy who freaking just obsesses over late 2000s, early 2010s Lego, but like, man, that 2015 to 2018 style of Lego, I think their sets were really good. I think they hit a great scale for most of the sets. I don't know. I have a lot of fondness over over those years of Lego, at least with Star
I mean,
Wars.
I just like the late 2000s, early 2010s. Mostly because I think Lego's more iconic in that era. Like the old Darth Vader fig is a very iconic figure. I'm trying to think of like, I just feel like there's more things that like, I don't know. I feel like just even in like pop culture, which like Lego now actually, funnily enough, like owns a lot more space in.
The
And
thousand
it's like
percent. I
like
mean,
a
you see how many memes guys make of like the perfect gift is a Lego Star Wars set.
yeah, like I think it's a lot more accepted, and in that way, it's a lot more ingrained in pop culture. But I think the iconography of the old Darth Vader figure and like some older figures are just much more. And it might be because I was a kid growing up in that time, and that's why it's like burned in my brain so much. But I think those are just like a lot more of like, hey, this is what Lego is. Like, I think it's undisputable. Whether or not you like the new Indiana Jones fig or the old one more, the old one is more iconic. And I think that might be through all the different media that they would go ahead and try to sneak them through, and
Mm-hmm.
they're just more simple. So it's has like all these like iconic symbols that are a lot more easy to like recreate, and also like you're sticking the same Indiana Jones fig in like every single set,
Mm-hmm.
whereas every single one it has some sort of variation to it in the new one. So I think because of the style that they go for nowadays, they can't make as many iconic figures. Like the freaking Ninjago figures are like almost unrecognizable sometimes to me at
Oh, they
least.
they
And
are unrecognizable to me.
I'm like, what is even going on? Versus like if you look at like the old Ninjago figs, those are very iconic to people. I think it is a combination of the simplicity of it back in the day mixed with the media. I actually think Lego does worse in new media now than they did back in the day.
Oh,
Uh, I
1,000%. I
I
100%
think
agree
the
with
Lego
you.
games are way worse
They're
and
less
have a way
popular.
worse style, like less popular. Like I know some people at school who have the Skywalker saga, but I'll still have people come over and we'll play the complete saga, the Indiana Jones. Me and my brother are playing the Lego Batman game right now, and like that's like it's a lot more simple, so it's just easier to see. But yeah,
As much as Lego has grown in popularity and it is such a mainstream, I mean, like, I think of like video games as being the mainstream nerd thing, but Lego is, it's up there, dude. Right now, Lego is such a mainstream, like, type of more nerdy hobby. It's like the cool nerdy hobby to have. Like, no girl wants to date some guy that collects action figures. But like,
I don't think no girl, but
okay, but
yeah,
you get what I mean. You get what I mean. It's the
yeah,
mainstream nerd hobby. It's like the attractive one. That's like a girl wouldn't be like. This is all very like, but
yeah.
ironically enough, though, as it's grown as that, like its identity of being like the charm that Lego had in the 2000s is completely gone. And that's due to things like the movies they make now. Not the Lego movie, but like the little animations they make. The fact that the characters aren't as simple. And you were right about that, no current Lego figure is nearly as iconic as any of those old Lego figures, because in part of the games. I mean, the Lego games were such a significant part of the popularity of a lot of that.
No, yeah, I'd agree with that. And like, if you tell me Lego Darth Vader, the first fig that pops into mind is not the modern one. It's the older one, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went a very interesting way with talking about retired versus old Lego, and talking about how simple and an icon. Oh my gosh, we just can't pronounce words today.
No. It's like 2
Iconic.
a.m.
There we go. Yes, 2 a.m. and a speech impediment don't mix well together. But yeah, I think we've strayed far enough off the bunny trail and found some fun things, and I think we've actually, I don't know, there's some like stuff that we talked about that I just like have actually never thought about like fully consciously, I guess, and like how
Mm-hmm.
Lego has shifted over the years. And I think it's always a very interesting topic to talk about, and it's something that honestly, like, this podcast is very much centered around at its core, and it's something that we could talk about for just like hours and hours. Um, but I'm very excited to hopefully have a guest on in the next episode. Is that correct?
Hopefully. We said this at
Yeah,
one point and
hopefully.
it never happened, so
That's true. Maybe we should stop saying this, because whenever we don't say it, they actually like fully work out. Although last time was entirely your fault, so
that's true.
there's
That's
that
true.
part.
But hopefully we'll have a guest on, and who knows what we'll talk about, but they'll be there.
We'll find a way to ramble about something. Don't you worry.
Yeah, how long can we get away? How much more Lego can we talk about? Because bro, we
Honestly,
brought up the 2006 stuff, and I wanted to dive into the license of 2006, 7, and 8.
well, to you, listener, if you're gonna want to hear about that, go ahead and follow, subscribe. What else can you do on the things that we
Oh
have?
yeah, leave a DM if you have a question. Maybe we'll get to it in a really far
crap.
future podcast.
We're supposed to do questions. I forgot about this. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
well, this is when we were doing
I
it
totally forgot
weekly.
that's a
But
thing.
if you leave a
Yeah.
comment, maybe the next time we do a batch of recordings, we'll love to answer questions. It always brings up some fun topics. So, yeah, hopefully this podcast was interesting. I feel like this episode was extremely interesting. A lot of interesting topics. A little bit more
It's a big
return to
shift from
form.
the last one too.
Yeah,
Yep,
a
big
little bit
shift
more
from the last
return
one.
to form though of the podcast. So, hopefully the next episode's just as good.
I agree.
Goodbye.